Danielle joins us now with a look at the weather. We've had a pretty good run at the start of the week with warmer weather, but we have to be prepared for some snow.
We do, and we've been all over the place this week. We had snow to kick it off.
Right.
We didn't have to shovel because we got warm enough.
Yes, we did.
This round of snow that's on the way, well, you're probably going to have to shovel it because we're looking at colder temperatures that the system will bring in, and that's going to last for a couple days. So we'll talk about that longer range forecast and what you can expect, but just for the next 24 hours, let's start there. 5 degrees is the current temperature, also our daytime high. Winds have been relatively calm, but at times up to about 30 kilometers per hour. That's been out of the north and out of the east, which is a chilly wind, so certainly a bite to it today. If you've been outside, you know what I mean. 6 downtown, 6 into Zaw Park. Big 4 Motors massive first anniversary sale is on. See it at big4motors.com. Okay, fog patches developing tonight through tomorrow morning. Wind chill of about -6 in the morning hours. We may see a few flurries in the morning, but it's later in the day that we're looking at the snow starting to kick in. I'll show you that coming up, Ian.
4th. Always something new at the Stampede. Every single year.
That's impressive. Not something I can do. You know?
No.
But I can tell you about the snow coming up here.
Yes, well, and this is where the skiers are quite excited because there'll be a fair amount of snow for the spring skiing.
Lots of snow in the mountains. In fact, there are snowfall warnings in place for the Banff area, for example. Okay, Skywatch weather camera showing you. We had a really nice day today, but there was certainly a bite in the air. We had some blue sky, we had some cloud cover. We just got up to 5 degrees, but the winds were predominantly, while they weren't extremely gusty, they were predominantly out of the north and out of the east, so it was absolutely a chilly wind out there. But check this out. Double digits, Brooks, Lethbridge, Milk River, Medicine Hat. So many communities had that warmth today, especially in the southeast corner. They're looking at another warm day before things fully cool down. Okay, let's talk about what we're looking at with regards to this longer term weather. For the next 3 days in Calgary, we are looking at this colder air mass rolling in and sticking in. Now tomorrow we should get above the freezing mark before the cold air really filters in later in the day. And then as we head through into the weekend, we're going to be holding on to the colder air. Okay, radar and satellite, this is all coming in from the west. The mountains, though, have been protecting us today and will continue for parts of tomorrow. But you can see it's already making its way over and has been making its way over through central Alberta. They were dealing with this yesterday and dealing with it today. So it's quite a bit of moisture. And with the system, even sparking up these snowfall warnings. So Banff, all the way up the mountains through Jasper and in through much of central Alberta. These areas could get up to 20 centimeters of snow, and parts of central Alberta even looking at 20+ centimeters of snow with this. So this is Thursday through Friday. For Calgary specifically, we'll get some snow, significant enough to shovel, and for areas further to the south, will be warm enough that it will be mainly a rain event and less moisture in the southeast corner. Okay, I'm going to advance this and show you. By the time we get into tomorrow morning, this is a shot at 10 o'clock in the morning, you can see the snow in the mountains. You can see it certainly in through central Alberta, moving down the QE2. We may see a little blip of it in Calgary for the morning hours, but this is should be short-lived in the morning. It won't be an all morning thing. And then as you can see, there's that mixed precipitation. Lethbridge, maybe with some freezing rain. This will be quick. In and out pretty quickly, and then moving over to Medicine Hat later in the day. In Calgary, though, later in the day, by about 4 p.m. is when we're looking at the consistent snowfall arriving that will carry, as you can see here, into Friday morning. When we look at how much we could get, I would say this is an overestimation for Calgary. Calgary likely looking at about 3 to 5 centimeters, but there's a small chance we could get this much. Banff closer to 20, Canmore just over 10 centimeters. Looking at that longer range forecast, 5 for tomorrow. The snow rolls in later in the day. The winds will pick up out of the north up to 60 kilometers per hour. Check out Friday's daytime high -3 and holding on to the minus single digits into the weekend.
So Danielle, tomorrow we get not just snow, but also a strong north wind.
Yeah, there'll be a bigger bite in the air tomorrow because we had a north wind today at times up to 30 kilometers per hour. Tomorrow at times up to 60 kilometers per hour. So yes, chilly out there. The snow, we may get a few flurries throughout the day, but that heavier, more consistent snowfall should arrive later in the day, closer to 4 p.m. That's when it should really kick in for us in Calgary tomorrow. It will arrive much earlier to the west of us and last much longer to the west of us as well. 5 degrees is the current temperature and today's daytime high, which is really where we should be for this time of year. Normal is 4. Tomorrow we're looking at a high of 5. That will be around 2 in the afternoon, and then temperatures will quickly drop off. And again, it won't feel like 5 because of those cold winds out of the north. 1 to 3 centimeters of snow on Thursday, and then another 1 to 3 possible on Friday. That should let up later in the day on Friday. But Saturday, as we head into the weekend, still chilly with a high of -1.
It's a beautiful sunny afternoon in Calgary. Let's check in with Danielle. How is our evening ahead looking?
Pretty good, Tara. You know, there's a light breeze, as you can see by my hair, but this breeze is predominantly out of the north and out of the east, and so it's a bit of a chillier wind. So a bit of a bite in the air for sure, and that wind will be even stronger tomorrow out of the north, so it will feel colder tomorrow. 5 degrees is our current temperature at this point. Also, that's our daytime high. Winds anywhere from 20 to 30 kilometers per hour. For tomorrow morning, there is the potential of seeing a few flurries, but the bulk of the snowfall will arrive in Calgary later in the day by about 4 p.m. That's when we're looking at that consistent longer-term snowfall. We could see over 5 centimeters. So I'll talk more about that coming up, Tara.
Thanks, Danielle. Let's bring Danielle back in as we look ahead to our 5-day forecast.
All right, so we're looking at colder temperatures moving into southern Alberta. You can already see it filtering in on the map here. That's going to be one of the key things. And some communities will see a big burst of snow. Now, March, typically our snowiest month of the year, we will certainly see a good amount of snowfall in some communities. And we'll talk about how much in just a second here. But first, just to talk about temperatures, we're sitting at 4 right now in Banff, but just up in Rocky Mountain House -2. So that colder air will start to filter down. And in fact, we're looking at a cooler day for the most part tomorrow, but we'll still get above freezing before the colder air filters in tomorrow. And then in the southeast corner, well, Lethbridge, Medicine Hat, Milk River sitting at 10 degrees. These areas will get into the teens for tomorrow, and we'll have one more warm day in the forecast before things cool down. But longer term trend here, you can see this cooler air mass that will roll on in, and it will stick in for most communities for much of the weekend and then start to let up early next week. Okay, when we look at radar and satellite, this is all a flow from the west, all this moisture, but the mountains have really been protecting us in southern Alberta for the last couple of days. Central Alberta has already seen some snowfall, and in fact, central Alberta, much of central Alberta, is under a snowfall warning at this point. And this extends all the way down into Banff. Banff could see 20 centimeters of snow before this is all said and done. So that's when you count in Thursday and Friday. So significant snowfall there. And for us here in Calgary, enough to shovel. And because of the cooler air that will be moving in, it won't melt right away. So we're going to have to do some shoveling here. Just to give you the timeline, for tomorrow, you can see that already moving in and really intensifying in central Alberta and moving into Banff for tomorrow morning as well. We may see a couple flurries here in Calgary for the morning, but the bulk of the widespread consistent snowfall should arrive closer to 4 p.m. and then be consistent for tomorrow night and in through Friday morning as well. And that's why we could pick up some totals here. So just to look at how much we can expect, this is along the higher end. When you look at this map, Calgary likely will see about 5 centimeters, but some localized areas could get up to 10. Areas off to the west will see the higher amounts, so close to 20 centimeters likely in Banff, 11 for Canmore, and around that for Cochrane as well. And then further off to the southeast, temperatures will be so warm that it will be a little bit of rainfall there and no snow. All right, looking at that 5-day forecast. 5 degrees for tomorrow. We'll get that in the early afternoon, and then temperatures will plummet in the later afternoon hours. The snow will roll in closer to 4, and the winds will pick up to 60 kilometers per hour. Then by Friday, the snow will continue, especially through the morning, and just a high of -3, holding on to those minus single digits as we head into the weekend, Tara.
Thank you, Danielle. Okay, we've shown videos before of sea foam getting whipped up by big storms, but would you do this?
Oh, where'd it go? It's gone. Hey, Tommy!
This guy just dove into it head first. This is in Queensland, Australia. This is the aftermath of ex-tropical cyclone Alfred. It created a beach full of foam. Thomas Oliver just plunged head first into that soft, bubbly mass without thinking. He says it completely swallowed him up. He couldn't even see how deep it was. He just dove right in there.
Why would you want to do that?
I feel like sea foam would be kind of stinky, too. Like, it doesn't look clean.
Well, stinky, but also there could be a crocodile in there. It's Australia.
You never know.
Anything in Australia.
I know.
Well, let's go now to a four-legged jockey who thinks he's a cowboy. This is Dally, the Jack Russell Terrier, hops on his horse with ease and agility. He was a rescue pup. He learned this trick with the help of his patient friend, Spanky the mini horse. These two have actually taken their show to late night TV and the big screen. They're very talented.
They are very talented. Look at the jumps.
How do you teach a dog to do that? I can see teaching the horse, but how do you teach the dog?
Trust between the dog and the horse, right?
I would expect that from a cat, not a dog. That's impressive.
Yeah, it is impressive. Well, finally, a husky who it kind of seems like has just forgotten how to be a dog. Not sure what this clumsy canine was doing. It was kind of looked like a yoga move or a headstand there. He scared his mom for a second, but I guess that's just all in a day's work when you own a husky. They're kind of goofy. Like, what was he doing there? She wasn't even paying attention. Like, maybe he sits like that all the time.
Just wanted attention.
Maybe.
Mom, look at me. Pet me now. Hurry up, I fall.
I've been trying to hug you for 5 minutes.
Yeah. That's a silly guy.
There's your Skywatch weather camera, and there's some blue sky, also a little bit of cloud. We did have mild temperatures today. We got up to a high of 5, but that did come with a wind to the north. Now, it wasn't an extremely strong wind, but it was enough to create a bit of a bite in the air at times. We are currently still sitting at our daytime high of 5 degrees for today, and 4 is what's normal for this time of year. So we're really right where we should be, and the record for this day, the record high, 19.4. from 1914. So we're nowhere near that, and we won't be anywhere near that for the rest of this week because we're in for a big cool down. You can see that colder air already starting to filter through. We're going to start to cool down, especially by tomorrow in the evening hours or later afternoon here in Calgary. The southeast corner will hold on to the warmth, the double-digit warmth, for one more day before the cool down arrives there. Okay, radar and satellite, all this will be coming in from the west. The mountains have been protecting us, but no longer. Calgary and areas to the west, significant snowfall, and Banff even under a snowfall warning, and that goes for much of central Alberta as well, because these areas could see 20 centimeters of snow, some localized areas even more than that. So when you count Thursday and Friday, so tomorrow and Friday, 11 centimeters likely in Canmore, 12 in Cochrane, and close to 20 in Banff. For us here in Calgary, this shows 10, most likely 5 for Calgary, but some localized areas could get the 10 centimeters because we're looking at consistent snowfall lasting through later on Thursday and then also through much of Friday. Okay, Salmon Arm, you're looking at that moisture, Fernie, mixed precipitation as well as golden. Edmonton, looking at the snowfall, and again, areas to the south, Calgary, Banff, we're looking at snowfall. Now for Calgary, the arrival time is about 4 p.m. to get that consistent longer-term snowfall. Lethbridge and Pincher Creek will be gusty, 70 kilometers per hour, but will still be warmer for tomorrow. And when we look at that 10-day trend, it's cool through much of the weekend, but we start to boost back up temperature-wise on Sunday. Tara?
Thanks, Danielle.
My expectations are just to have fun and bowl well. Nothing special.
The Youth Bowl National Championships run from May 4th to the 10th in Edmonton. The Canadian 10-Pin Federation Nationals go from the 14th to the 19th in Quebec City, so it's going to be a very busy month for Charlotte and her family. And all her family will be there, by the way.
That's pretty cool. So let me get this right. She bowled her best game ever while you happened to be there filming.
While I was there shooting, 191 personal best.
Amazing.
Like, I couldn't believe how many strikes she threw.
Now you have to be there all the time.
Well,
maybe you're the good luck
They're trying to book me flights, right, to Edmonton and Quebec City and follow her around. Good luck, Charlotte.
I bring my own camera operator. Yeah. Good stuff.
All right. Well, you know, the roads won't be so great later in the day tomorrow. And if you're headed to Banff tomorrow, well, it's great for skiers because Banff area could get about 20 centimeters of snow. It's going to be snowy here too. 5 degrees will be our high. We'll likely see that earlier in the afternoon, and then temperatures will start to plummet later in the afternoon. We'll get that cold wind gusting out of the north up to 60 kilometers per hour. And we may get a few flurries in the morning, but the bulk of that dense snowfall should arrive around 4 p.m. here in Calgary and then continue in through Friday morning. So 1 to 3 centimeters Thursday, 1 to 3 centimeters Friday. Check out Friday's daytime high. Weren't we done with this? No, we're not. -3 for high of Friday, holding on to colder temperatures in through Saturday as well. Weather window brought to you by Lux Windows and Doors, crafting quality windows and doors for your style, budget, and Alberta's climate. And Denise Jasmine sent us in from Carstairs. Little guy, little squirrel.
That little guy is going to be under a snow bank tomorrow. Thanks for your company tonight. We'll see you tomorrow.